Daniel Reguera's panel, Sadie Behind the Legend, will be starting in 5 minutes.
This year, I had the most unhinged birthday theme for my 30th. Don't worry about the number. I hosted the first ever annual Sadie Con. What makes a birthday con, you may be asking? And okay, we'll get there. Maybe a better question is, why a convention for your birthday? Like, how conceited can you be? Okay, so I was inspired by an Instagram reel.
There's nothing in the rulebook that says you can't throw your very own convention for your birthday. Welcome to JennyCon 2026.
It seemed like a fun way to celebrate and have a goofy theme that's quite on brand for me. All my friends already know that I'm a massive fangirl and love engaging in fanish activities. After lightly raising the idea with a few friends, who didn't seem to think it made me sound overly egotistical, I decided to go for it.
If you have a VIP pass, you may sit in the front row. All others need to stand in the back. Feel free to take some selfies before the panel begins.
Once decided, I started adding in all kinds of elements that I knew would make this a true con experience. Photo ops? A friend of mine designed a repeating pattern backdrop like you'd see at San Diego Comic-Con, but with Sadie elements on it. Autographs? Of course I bought some Sharpies and headshots to personalize and hand out to my adoring fans. Yes, one of my friends even stuck his on his refrigerator. Cosplay? Multiple friends dressed up with wigs included. I can think of one friend in particular who nailed my summer fit so perfectly that my husband mistakenly thought it was me from behind. Panels? We actually had 2. I might have forced my husband into a panel titled Behind the Legend, but don't worry, he got me back by putting together a slideshow of my most embarrassing moments.
All right, so this is little bit of behind the scenes, folks. The Sadie that you all know, this beautiful,
That's right,
buxom redhead who's gorgeous and smart and does amazing things. The woman that it took to get her there, y'all have not seen. So this is a bit of a behind the scenes. Frankly, we're gonna blow the lid off this thing. We're gonna
Thank goodness I seem to be impervious to my own cringe. Ha! We ended the night with a Q&A session that turned out to be more in-depth and more fun than I expected. You know you have good friends when someone deems to ask you, between you and Daniel, who's more like Dean and who's Cass? Like I said, my friends might not understand my fandom, but they're certainly game to indulge it. Okay, but why am I just bragging about my most recent birthday party? Well, part of the reason I was so interested in having a con-themed celebration is because I've been thinking about conventions a lot lately. When it comes to digital fandom, I've always been an online lurker. Even early in my fanfiction.net days, I wrote and published a few stories, but didn't leave hardly any comments. I did, however, read an ungodly amount of fic, and that trend has held true today. But when it comes to in-person gatherings, I am all in. I'm no wallflower. I am so happy to hop in line to ask a question at a panel or strike up conversations with fellow congoers as we wait in one of the many interminably long lines. Please see Hall H line at San Diego Comic-Con. And I also love to cosplay as my favorite characters, and I really enjoy talking to sellers in the vendors room. I even love the gossip between congoers, whether real or imagined. I love taking what was always a digital, isolated experience of fandom from my youth and bringing it into the real world. And as I've spent more time at conventions, from tiny local anime cons to insanely massive ones like San Diego Comic-Con or SDCC, I've gotten more curious about their inner workings. Sure, I put on my own Sadie Con, but that was for maybe 45, 35 people that I already know. And scheduling the headliner meant checking my own calendar. How have conventions evolved over the years? What tricks do convention organizers use to maintain momentum year after year? What are the financials of a con? How do organizers conceive of the fan experience and what they want them to get out of it? How can expectations of a convention differ from reality for first-time attendees? As they become somewhat more mainstream, have cons become less cringe? More capitalistic? None of the above? All of the above? There's a lot of ground to cover. And for this season, I'm going to try a new experiment. As you've probably noticed from previous seasons, this show has historically used the scripted public radio style that first got me hooked on podcasts. But this season, I'm going to change it up. Instead of conducting all of my interviews ahead of time and writing out pages of scripts for voiceover, I'm going to loosen up the style. There will still be a semi-scripted intro and outro for each episode, but the meat of the show will be lightly edited interviews between myself and a guest. Conventions for me are so much about the personal back and forth of meeting fellow fans. What better way to explore that dynamic than through open conversations with guests? Oh, and to sweeten the deal, I'll be mixing in a few special mini-sodes with video, so keep an eye out for those. Also, as I'm just kicking off this new season, I want to hear from you, my listeners. Have someone you think I should speak to? Send their name or social media handle my way. Have a question about conventions that's been bubbling in the back of your mind? Send me your thoughts. I'm building this plane as we're flying it, so consider this a standing invitation. I think conventions can be such a joyous experience for fans and talent alike. I still remember how nervous I was to attend my first Supernatural convention and how genuinely welcomed I felt by fellow fans and staff. Why else would I keep coming back year after year? I want to share that love and joy with others, while also being honest about some of the more unsavory sides of convention culture. I hope In Defense of Fandom feels like a welcoming space where we can explore these ideas together. No 3-day convention pass necessary. Now for the show's credits.
Music was composed and performed by August Hotel.
Cover art was designed by Liz Hand. In Defense of Fandom is a part of the Geekscape Podcast Network. If you like the show, giving us a review on Apple Podcasts is a great way to help support this work and help even more listeners discover us. Your support is deeply appreciated.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.